BN announced the candidates list and 95 polling centers for P213 MUKAH. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Handy Guri and you're watching TVS Nightline. Barisan Nasional earlier announced the candidate list for the upcoming GE15. The coalition will be fielding 165 candidates of the 222 contested seats throughout Malaysia. Its chairman, Dato' Sri Zahid Hamidi, said the lineup comprises of young and experienced candidates. Meanwhile, Perikatan Nasional had also announced its candidates list, to which it will be contesting in 4 seats in Sarawak. To get the latest updates on the event, we will be joined by our colleague Douglas Elliott in Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you, Siri. I'm currently at MUKAH World Trade Center, where you can see behind me the excitement explosion right after the announcement of the Barisan Nasional list of candidates for the upcoming 15th general election by Barisan Nasional Chairman Dato' Sri Zahid Hamidi. As we predicted, there are several big names that are in the list, such as Zahid Hamidi himself, which is in Bagan Datu, as well as Ismail Sabri, Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, which is contesting in Berapahang. We also have a few, such as Kuala Selangor, represented by Tengku Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz. Meanwhile, Rumbau incumbent Khairi Jamaluddin is now contesting in the Sungai Buloh parliamentary seat. Unfortunately, there are several big names that are missing in the list, such as Tan Sri Anwar Musa, which we don't know where it's going to be on, but definitely we will find out after this. Plenty low excitement. As usual, the election fever is definitely hitting a high pitch right here in Kuala Lumpur. Definitely more, as you can see, people walking past by me. Nonetheless, we'll bring you all the latest updates right here, TVS Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you, Douglas, for the updates. Now we move on to MUKAH. Earlier, our reporter Muhammad Yusuf arrived in MUKAH and has information concerning important stations for the upcoming GE15. Let's hear from him. Take it away, Yusuf.
Thank you, Handy. Now, currently I am at May's Kitchen LKIM in MUKAH, a rather famous spot for anyone who craves seafood. Anything seafood, basically. It was marvelous, my food just now. But I'm not here to talk about my food. I'm here to talk about the elections. Earlier today, I've gathered verified information related to the GE15 from the MUKAH's district office. Now, first things first, on nomination day, candidates contesting for the P213 parliamentary seat will be making their first appearance as candidates at the MUKAH district office meeting room located at the Pihin Setiaraja Tower. And for early polls, the IPD MUKAH's multi-purpose hall will be utilized, and early voters may come as early as 8 a.m. and the center is expected to close by 5 p.m. And on November 19th itself, there will be a total of 95 voting centers established under the parliamentary, where 46,964 eligible voters will be casting their votes to choose the next member of parliament for MUKAH. And that is if 100% of eligible voters will come out. And hopefully everybody will come out, you know, because this is the first time Undi 18 is implemented. And we are actually looking forward to more youths coming out to practice their rights as responsible Malaysians. And also, let's hope everything will pan out smoothly during the election period. And stay tuned with us on TVS for Malaysia Decides, where we will be updating you constantly with developments that concerns the general election, okay? And that's all I've got for you, Handy. My name is Muhammad Yusuf with videographer Nasrullah for TVS MUKAH. Over to you.
Now, the Sarawak government aims to produce a total of 200 doctors within the next 5 years to meet the need for medical specialists in all public and private hospitals statewide. Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunoping said, Yayasan Sarawak is offering scholarships to medical graduates to undergo advanced courses in specific areas of medical expertise to achieve the targeted goal.
Kita telah menghantar pelajar-pelajar kita untuk mengikuti kursus perubatan. Kerana kita punya target ialah dalam masa 5 tahun kita dapat mengeluarkan 200 doktor.
Abang Johari, who is also the UNIMAS Pro-Chancellor, revealed that the doctor population in Sarawak ratio is still very low.
Dari sudut ratio, kita masih lagi rendah doktor kepada population.
Abang Johari said this during a media conference after attending the second session of the 26th UNIMAS convocation on Tuesday. A total of 574 graduates obtained their respective degrees at the second session during the convocation. Mentoring the younger generation into politics is not as easy as it may seem. Those were said by Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Ugambas.
We have always a culture that when one feels that time is over, then we decide to step down. After that, what is most important is we must give opportunity to the younger generation to be grown up, because politics is not easy.
Uga, who is also the party Pasaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB Deputy President, said this when asked to comment on Santubong incumbent Dato' Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar's decision to bow out in the upcoming 15th general election. It was previously announced that Wan Junaidi has suggested his political secretary, Dato' Sri Syed Hamzah Syed Pai, to contest as the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS candidate for the Santubong seat in the forthcoming parliamentary election. He claimed that Syed Hamzah is the best option should GPS chairman Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Opang decide not to renominate him to defend the seat. Wan Junaidi served as Batang Lupar MP for 3 terms from 1990 before switching to Santubong in 2004 and retaining the seat since then. The GPS will be announcing its list of candidates for the GE15 this Thursday, November 3rd. Now, Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS wants more Sarawakian representatives in the ministerial cabinet with important portfolios. As such, Kapit incumbent Dato' Sri Alexander Nanta Lingi stressed that the 15th general election will determine how much say Sarawak has at the federal level in order to ensure equitable development to Sarawak. In a Facebook post on Tuesday, November 1st, Nanta pointed out that the previous cabinet has 4 Sarawakian ministers. He said GPS wants this to be increased to 6 or 7 ministers after polls. Prior to Parliament's dissolution, the 4 cabinet members from Sarawak were Works Minister Dato' Sri Fadila Yusof, Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Dato' Sri Nancy Shukri, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law Dato' Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar, and Nanta himself as Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister. Nanta said Sarawak's voice in cabinet should be increased for a bigger say in charting Malaysia's development in line with the federal government's Shared Prosperity Vision 2030. Coming up right after the break, Bintulu flood updates, the future of the construction industry in 3D. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. It was a long and sleepless night on Monday for residents of several housing areas in Bintulu, affected by flooding following incessant rain during the king tide, in what was described as the worst flood in 20 years. The waters have started to recede by 3 p.m. today, and at 9 p.m. press time, it was reported that some flood victims have started to clean their houses. For a complete report, we have our reporter Xiao Yan on the ground to bring more insights on this matter.
Right, thank you, Studio. Based on reports from Bintulu residents, the flash flood started last night with heavy rainfall starting as early as 5 p.m. The non-stop rainfall had caused several housing areas and shopping malls to be inundated. Among the affected areas are Kampung Kemunting, Kampung Asyakirin, Desa Damai, Kampung Baru and Bukit Orang. The Sarawak Disaster Management Committee stated that a total of 77 people involving 25 families in 5 villages in Bintulu were evacuated to a relief center (PPS) at Dewan Suara Bintulu last night when floods hit their villages following continuous rain since yesterday. However, as the flood water starts to recede at 3 p.m. today, some evacuees have started to go back to their houses to start their cleaning process. Earlier, Democratic Progressive Party President Dato Sri Tiong King Sing and his team were also seen on the ground providing aids and reliefs to the affected residents. That's all from me, Xiao Yuan, reporting for TVS from Bintulu. Now back to you, studio.
Thank you, Xiao Yan, for the updates. Now moving on, Mayor Khan Sundrian Berhad has been appointed as the new contractor to upgrade the 44-kilometer-long Jalan Baru Matang Phase 2 project, which is expected to be completed in 18 months. Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Umbas hopes that with the selection of Mayor Khan as the new contractor, the project will no longer be categorized as a sick project.
Jalan Matang Jaya to Jalan Matang, Jalan Batu Kawah, Matang Junction. Today we are handing over the site to the contractor. The cabinet has agreed to appoint Micron Sdn Bhd to take over this project. This is one of the 6 projects, so we decided, the cabinet agreed that the Micron Sdn Bhd will be offered the opportunity to complete the project. We have discussed with them since this project has been outstanding for a bit of time. So we are working out the work plan so that this project can complete within 18 months.
He said so during his inspection visit to the project site at Jalan Baru Matang on November 1st. Uga further added that a total of 70 streetlights will also be erected along the route within 3 months, in addition to widening the existing 2-lane road into 4 lanes to alleviate the area's traffic congestion issue. The project costs about 67 million ringgit, of which 8 million ringgit is allocated to utilities, including water and electricity pipes. Meanwhile, Uga pointed out that Tupong Assemblyman Fazruddin Abdul Rahman had been pressing for this project's completion. Fazruddin stressed that the area's main problems were the traffic congestion and the absence of street lights that put the road users' safety at risk during the night time.
Kepada Yang Berhormat Dato' Amar Douglas dan Kerajaan Sarawak di atas komitmen untuk menyelesaikan isu projek terbengkalai iaitu di Jalan Matang, dan antara isu yang utama adalah kesesakan lalu lintas dan lampu jalan kampung yang membahayakan pengguna jalan pada malam hari, dan setelah mendengar komitmen daripada Yang Berhormat Dato' Amar tadi, saya mengharapkan urusan memasang lampu dan pembinaan jalan ini dapat berjalan dengan lancar dan dapat memberi manfaat kepada penduduk sekitar. Dan terima kasih di atas komitmen beliau. Betul, sejak kontraktor lama bermasalah, saya sering berhubung dengan Yang Berhormat Dato' Amar Douglas dan respon yang amat positif daripada beliau serta tindakan yang pantas daripada beliau menunjukkan komitmen kerajaan dalam menyelesaikan isu-isu projek terbengkalai ini. Jadi terima kasih saya ucapkan.
As such, the Tupong Assemblyman hopes that the project will be completed without any additional issues. Now, Sarawak Petroleum Contractors Association, SPECA, lauded the move made by Petroleum Nasional Berhad Petronas to increase the contract threshold for Sarawakian companies involving their upstream and downstream sectors. Its president, Datuk Rahman Lariwo, believed that with the agreements being made, it is high time for Sarawakians ONG contractors, especially small and mid-sized enterprise contractors, to be given the opportunities to undertake higher value ONG jobs in Sarawak from the National Oil Corporation.
And as a Sarawakian, I'm really appreciate if this thing can be materials to all of our SME contractors. So because of our small boy, the whole small boy in Sarawak, especially in oil and gas, there's a lot of companies in this field. And the big boy is a few, not too many in Sarawak, especially like there's like Dayang, like Petra, is according Petra and a few. So we are really hope this time around Petronas can help us, all the SME in this oil and gas industries, to participate in on the first place when we form Sarawak Petroleum Oil and Gas Contractors to have this opportunity.
He said this when contacted by TVS. At the same time, he said the number will be increased gradually depending on the volume of work and local private sector capabilities, as well as increased local participation.
Because we are hungry for this type of job. For all the while, most of our SME local contractors is only subcontractors to the big boy. Some of them from Semenanjung, Malaysia, and some of them from overseas contractors. So this time around, I really hope that all the Sarawak contractors can benefit from this what so-called given to Sarawak contractors.
Earlier today, November 1st, Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, revealed that Petronas has agreed to increase the contract threshold for Sarawakian companies in the upstream and downstream sectors. He said the threshold value will be elevated from 10 million ringgit to 50 million ringgit for the upstream sector and from 5 million ringgit to 20 million ringgit for the downstream by 2030. Awang Tengah, who is also Sarawak's second Minister for Natural Resources and Urban Development, said previously Petronas had agreed that contract works in the oil and gas sector within the state waters should be given to Sarawakian companies with a 2.1 billion ringgit annual baseline and a prospect of increasing the numbers gradually depending on the volume of work and local private sector capabilities. Welcome back. Among the many conventionally built homes that sit on Kuching, Sarawak, the state's first ever 3D printed house is measured at approximately around 900 square feet, which took an impressive 36 hours to complete. The prototype, based at the Construction Industry Development Board CIDB Kuching campus, has the potential to provide an alternative method leading to a faster, greener and more durable homes and buildings. According to the Sarawak Consolidated Industry Berhad SCIB's Chief Operating Officer Chai Zay Kwang, while still an emerging technology, this method is expected to facilitate significant savings.
The COO added that the 3D printing system was acquired as part of the innovation initiatives and to explore the possibilities of deploying this technology in the domestic construction industry. In line with the Sarawak government's initiative under the ruling coalition GPS on providing more affordable homes, such as the Rumah Spectra Permata RSP and the Rumah Mampu Milik RMM.
We have completed a mock-up units using 3D printing technologies together with CIDB Sarawak in CIDB site office. And we, in terms of speed, I think traditionally it will take probably a few weeks to complete the walls of a single-story house. And with 3D printing technologies, we will manage to complete it within 36 hours. So that will reduce significantly on the times consumed. And of course, using 3D printing technologies, the manpower significantly reduces also. Also to print the houses, I think we use about less than 5 manpowers to complete printing the wall of the house.
As such, Choi added, with the current designs of buildings, this method may just be the future of the construction industry, as it also allows greater design freedom when compared to conventional building methods.
But I think 3D printers, 3D printing technologies will play a very important role in future's constructions. And today's, when you look at the architecture's design of buildings, it's become more complicated and more advanced, and you need all these technologies to make it happen. So I would say that these 3D printing technologies will be the one of the play a very significant roles in future's constructions.
However, Ivan Son Pui, the company's senior business development manager, said this method, albeit convenient, is not without its own challenges.
It's very new in the market, and even the local authorities, like for instance our local Bandaraya, they have not been exposed and they have no reference of this construction industry whereas standards is concerned. So at this point in time, we are working closely with our government, especially CIDB Construction Industry Malaysia, to help to formalize a standard where everyone can follow, even the engineers, architects can follow the same standard. And of course, we're working closely together with international bodies where they have already developed. So we are trying to adopt their standard to our local conditions here.
Nevertheless, he believes that the industry has a lot of catching up to do in order to incorporate this method into the future of construction.
So I believe that our construction industry, there's a lot of catching up to do. And I believe this 3D printing technology is one of the best stepping stone for our construction industry player to show to the world that we Malaysia can also do 3D printing and also improve the image of construction industry in Malaysia, where we are using 3D technologies, whereas nowadays we are talking about IR 4.0, the internet, using technologies, because now we're after facing pandemic, there are a lot that we have learned where because of pandemic, shortage of labor, health concerns. So I believe machine can help to solve this problem of shortage of labor and also this pandemic situation in our construction industry.
Now, as you can see right behind me, this is the house that has been built using the 3D printing method. There's actually one more located in Kuala Lumpur, meaning there's a total of 2 houses that has been built using this method. Now, it has been proven that this method, the 3D printing method, is actually more cost efficient due to the fact that there's much less labor needed, because as you may know, Malaysia is facing labor shortages throughout the country due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of them have gone back to their home country, and plus with this method, it will actually reduce the wastage of materials being used for a certain construction of a project or maybe a building. And maybe, just maybe, this 3D printing method will become the future of our construction industry right here in Sarawak. I'm Muhammad Yusuf with our videographer Nasrullah for TVS Kuching.
Don't forget to catch the third episode of TVS's new reality program, Getaran Jiwa, this Friday, beginning with the Debaran Jiwa capsule at 7:30 p.m., followed by Getaran Jiwa live concert at 8:45 p.m. The public is also invited to watch the concert at MBK Stadium in Bintawa. For more information, follow Getaran Jiwa official Facebook page and Instagram. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news update both locally and internationally. Just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And also don't forget to catch our comprehensive discussion on GE15 with our daily coverage of Malaysia Decides at 2 p.m. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Henny Gui. Thank you for watching.